Since Expression Web is predisposed to write valid and accessible HTML, instead of going through all of the segments of the chapter, what I want to do is concentrate on remedying some old HTML that's left in the page. And that's going to be a more common workflow as you remedy old sites that you may have made or remake sites that you have inherited from other web designers and so on. So without further ado, let's get started. In this chapter segment, we're going to work on the Chapter 5 document. Let's scroll down to the TagSoup div, which we'll find right here, and select it. This would be a good time to use panels, auto hide all panels. And now we have some real estate where we can see what we're doing. So, the first thing that we're going to do is copy this. In fact, let's just copy this whole span style. Copy it, and then we'll set our cursor up here just before the div, and then press the backslash and control, or control then backslash, and that'll give you an HTML comment, and we can paste that style right into there, and that way we'll be able to refer to it as we rebuild this segment with modern CSS. So now that we've done that, what we can do is we've selected that paragraph. We'll come up to this and we can select the whole div, TagSoup. And then what we'll do is select tag contents. Right click the design pane, cut. We'll come up to the edit menu and click paste text. We'll paste it as normal paragraphs without line breaks. Click OK. And we'll roll up, and you can see that all of the text is there. And you can see that there's no markup whatsoever. And it's taking on the appearance of the rest of the text in the page because we haven't styled the text for these paragraphs, which we'll do shortly. And that's also the reason that we put that HTML comment, so we can see basically what it looked like specifically. So in the next step, we're going to create a new style. We'll open the Apply Styles pane and pin it. And you can see that we have the TagSoup div. So what we'll do is click New Style. We'll call that new style TagSoup P. So that's going to style the paragraphs within the TagSoup div. And then the next few steps, we're going to try and move some of this into this new style dialog. So in our TagSoup paragraph, we're going to enter the fonts Book Antiqua, Palatino, Palatino Linotype, and serif. The reason that we've entered multiple fonts is so that if the machine that's viewing this page doesn't have the Book Antiqua font, it will go to the Palatino. If it doesn't have that, Palatino Linotype, and then serif as the last resort. And so some are for Mac systems, some are for Windows systems. If you put them in here, you can pretty much maintain the look that you want across any operating system. Next, we're going to give it a font size of 150%. Now it was 24 pixels before. You can see that right here. Let's just make it 150% of standard. And that'll allow a user that wants to change the resolution. It just makes it a lot more accessible. So the next thing is we want the font weight to be bold. And then lastly, we want to specify a color. And since we had the forethought of putting this in the HTML comment, we know that the color we're looking for is 502009. And that's that rusty kind of maroon color that was there in the original. And all we have to do now is click OK. And you can see that the font and appearance is generally the same as it was before we started this. There's one more thing. You'll notice that there's an empty paragraph. Well, when we pasted the content back in, we asked for paragraphs with line breaks, and it left the image out. So in the next couple of steps, we're going to remedy the missing image by bringing that back in and then using a little CSS to float to the right. So to bring the image back, let's expand the folder list and pin it. We'll open up the images folder and we will find the image side soup. And it is right there. Okay, so we'll grab it from here and drag it into this paragraph and release it. We'll give it alt text of anything that you can do in the alt text to add semantic meaning to your pictures and page is worthwhile. And then we'll click OK. And you can see that the image shows up in the paragraph, but it's pushing everything inside of the div out of alignment. So let's remedy this right now. We've selected it. Now look up on here and we'll see that the image is inside of the paragraph, and that's where we dropped it. But we don't really need the paragraph, so we'll do remove tag. It removes the tag but leaves the paragraph. And what we want to do is float it. So new style, and then what we'll do is tag soup image. And basically what we're doing is saying any image that falls within the div tag soup takes on the properties that we can set in this dialog. And in this case, all we want to do is set the layout float to right. And that'll nestle it over the right hand side and let the text exist to the left of it. We'll click OK. And another good time to use the auto hide all panels. And you can see that the picture is where it was when we started. But the cool thing is there is no style or align attribute on this picture whatsoever. Just because it appears within the tag soup div and we spec that image, it's a done deal. And you can even look through all this. There's absolutely no markup in any of these paragraphs. And all of that markup that you did in the new style creation dialog is going to appear right here. So this one and this one are the two that you just did using this method that we were doing in the video. So I hope that helps, gives you an idea of how you can strip out old deprecated HTML and add some nice, clean, new CSS styles.